hello. This is Zakiya Monique, Master Relationship Strategist here. And I want to thank you for tuning in to part two of the series. Listen, if you didn't catch part one, I'll try to put it somewhere up top in a card, and I'll also try to link it below in the description. So make sure you check out part one as well. But thank you for tuning in to part two. And without further ado, let's get to it. Oh, and this one is good. This one is real good. Number four, you have to tell people that you are over with him and you done with him. What we continuously speak about, we are weak about. Think about when you were really done with somebody or something before, other than this relationship or this person. How many times did you have to make an announcement? We only make announcements for two reasons. We're trying to convince ourselves or we're trying to convince others. If you're done, be done. You ain't got to say it. You ain't got to convince nobody. You ain't got to make a big announcement. You ain't got to put it on a billboard. When you're done, a person know you're done by what you do, not what you say. Okay? We'll know by how you move. But oftentimes, this is how we miss our opportunity for healing, because healing does not thrive in the midst of confusion. See, your heart is saying we ain't done, and you saying, oh, girl, I don't want him no more. Think about a hospital. They need it quiet and peaceful for healing to occur. And that's the same type of alignment that we need for healing to occur. But many times it's such confusion because we lie to ourselves and others. One of the biggest battles in healing and moving on and dealing with heartbreak is the fact that we just don't want to admit that we still love that person. Because maybe we got all the reasons in the world not to, and that's okay. It's okay to not want to love them, but you got to be honest about where you are in order to know where you need to, to get to where you need to be. When I admitted that I still love that man and I always will love him, that don't mean I'm going to be in love with him, but I'm going to always have love for him. That's when my healing process started. But as long as I was saying what I thought people wanted to hear or what I thought I should be saying based on how he had treated me and what he had done to me, as long as I was doing that, I was stuck. I was stuck because I wasn't even living in my own truth. I wasn't even living in my own reality. And many times we are sitting around saying the things that we think people want to hear, or saying the things that we think we should say, but ultimately we're not really bearing our hearts. And we're not creating an atmosphere for healing, which does not include disorder, dysfunction, and confusion. You have got to have order and you have got to have alignment so that you can heal. And that starts with truth. No matter how ugly it is, no matter how hard it is, no matter how brutal it is, you have got to be honest about where you are if you ever think you're going to get to where you need to be. There's nothing wrong with still loving somebody, even if they mistreated you. That don't mean you got to be with them. See, one of the biggest issues that we have is we think that love means, or because we love somebody, that we still got to be with them. I ain't say all that. Okay? It's people I love that I wouldn't let watch my dog, and I don't even have a dog. Okay? But I love you though. But no. You can love someone but not be with that person. You can love someone and they not have full access to you. You can love somebody and they don't have any access to you. But we think that because we love somebody, we got to be with them and they got to have full access to us. Not so. Not so. So every time you say you don't love him, every time you say you don't want him, every time you say you over him, you are confusing your atmosphere because your aura says you do and your aura says you ain't over him. Admitting it helps us to remove pride. Pride comes before destruction, the Holy Spirit before a fall. It helps us to remove pride. It helps us to remove pride. So the sooner you admit where you are, keeping the facts in mind. Okay? I love him, but it's not going to work because he's disrespectful. That's a fact. Okay? You can admit where you are, but you got to keep the facts in mind. You'll reach your destination much sooner. Okay. And I want you to understand something too, that when it comes to love and the types of love, there's way too many types of love for us to think that just saying that we love somebody means that they have full access to us. Because what happens if a person doesn't have agape love for you, but they have eros love for you? Does that mean that they should get full access to you? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think not. Okay. So we got to be careful with that. All right. So number 4, we got to tell everybody that we don't want them. We got to make a full-fledged announcement that we don't want them. And most of the time, the people that we telling, no, we lying anyway. Okay. And last but not least, I saved this one. Ooh, I saved this one. I saved this one. You still need closure. Nowadays, closure is just another way of saying, let me just see if it's a second chance. Let me just see if he still loves me. Let me just see if he still wants me. If we're honest, we don't want to know why it's over. We want to know if you're sure it's over. We don't want to know what you did wrong so you can get it better in the future. We want to know how we can make it right now. We don't want to know if they hate us or if we can be friends. We want to know if they miss us and if they really love her. See, at the end of the day, when you're done, the disrespect was enough to close it. When you're done, the disregard was enough to close it. When you're done, the depression and the misery was enough to close it. When you're done, the distance and the lack of effort was enough to close it. When you're done, you don't need nothing but the facts. So when I hear people say that they need closure, I know they're not done. And my response is the only closure you need is to stop considering words over deeds. Because ask yourself, why do you need closure after everything that you've been through? For what? What you need them to tell you what they've shown you? That's how we get in a position of getting our hearts destroyed in the first place, because we listen to words instead of watching deeds. Watch your patterns. We're not what we do once. We are what we repeatedly do. So I watch patterns. You can't keep cheating and tell me you're not a cheater. You can't keep lying and tell me you're not a liar. You can't keep hitting me and tell me you're not an abuser. You just can't. So at the end of the day, for us to say we need closure, we're only fooling ourselves. We just want to see if it's another chance. And if that's you, no shame or shade. You just not done. And that's one of the major ways that we know your aura still says taken. Because if you still waiting on closure, sometimes you just, let me just say this. And if you don't take nothing else from this, take this. Sometimes you're just not going to understand right now. Okay? Back in the day, back years ago, when I had my heart broken, I didn't understand then. I didn't understand. And I wish somebody would have told me, you just ain't going to understand. You ain't going to understand right now. Sometimes you're just not going to understand why it didn't work out. But I tell you what, one day you will. And one day you'll be thankful more than likely if you were not the person that was, causing the problems. One day when you meet the person that is covering you in prayer and that loves you and honors you and your children, etc., you'll then be thankful that it didn't work out with this person. There have been so many opportunities that I've had to say, well, why didn't this work out? Why didn't that work out? And at some point, I just started trusting that, you know what? Rejection was protection. Rejection was redirection. And I'm telling you, every time a female called themselves taking somebody from me, they ain't take nothing but a problem. And let me tell you something. One thing about me, I ain't never asked nobody to bring the trash back in the house after they took it out. Have you? I'm just asking. Because at the end of the day, you took him. He was a problem. He was an issue. I appreciate you, sis. Because listen, when a female calls herself taking something from you, if she can take them from you, trust me, he ain't worth keeping. So at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to close it. It just got to be over. The disrespect was enough. The disregard was enough. The depression was enough. The misery was enough. The abuse was enough. The nonsense was enough. It's enough. I don't need closure. I just need to close it. And that's that. So if you're just popping in, number 1, he still has full access to you. Number 2, you're still holding out hope that you'll get back together. Number 3, you're still attached to what should be. And what should be often messes us up simply because we will sit somewhere longer than we should be waiting on what should be to happen. And it ain't going to happen. And if it did happen, trust me, you don't have to wait. You don't have to manufacture anything that's meant to be. If it's meant to be, you ain't got to make it be. You ain't got to press pause. Number 4, you have to tell people that you over him or done with him. And most of the time, they know you're lying. And last but not least, number 5, you still need closure. If you still need closure after the disrespect, after the abuse, after the hurt, sometimes you just got to say, you know what, maybe I don't understand it, but I know it's over. You ain't got to understand all the intricate details. You ain't got to hear. I just want to know how he feel. It don't matter how he feel. He showed you. But at the end of the day, you know it's over. Stick with what you know. Go with what you know. I know it's over. I know he was disrespectful. I know this. I know that. And sometimes we get distracted because, well, he wasn't that bad because he was a provider. But listen, a good man is going to be a good provider, but a good provider is not always a good man. And I was on TikTok tonight, and the girl said, well, he could still be taking care of home and be gaslighting, be a narcissist. Taking care of home don't just mean finances. Taking care of home means his behavior too. See, I'm amazed at how we think taking care of is still equated to finances only. No, just because you financially take care of home, if you up and through here abusive, if you up and through here drunk and beating on children, that don't give you the no. You're not taking care of home if you still cutting up and acting a fool up in here and causing more havoc just because you paid some bills. I don't think so. I'm amazed at how we will give people tickets to act a fool simply because of the money that they have. Foolishness. So again, number 5, you still need closure. If you need closure, no shade, no shame. You just got to go ahead and accept the facts. If they're done, they're done. That should be it. Okay. So again, if this has blessed you, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Like, share, subscribe. So hopefully this has helped you. This is part 1. We're going to come back and talk about how you actually heal your aura so that your aura can move from taken to available. But I hope this was helpful. I know it might have been a little hard to hear, but it's all for your good, because I wish somebody would have told me this before I wasted time. Okay. I certainly hope you enjoyed this content, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. I want you to have a great day. You already know how, on purpose. God bless you, and see you in the next video.